What is going on, bros and broettes? So I got up super early this morning. I'm out here. It's a beautiful, like perfect day. And one really cool thing that happens in late summer is you start to see some schooling fish. But last night I got a little present in the mail. So Bass Mafia came out with a new topwater. It's the Dead Man Walking. It's a spook style bait. I got a soft spot for spook style baits. I love throwing them. We used to catch a bunch on Okeechobee, but I don't know if we're gonna run into it. But everything is setting up right. These fish start chasing like little shad and doing this schooling thing in the morning. The one trick is it's like 6 o'clock, I think 6:05, and you have to scramble. You almost have to look at your day as I'm gonna fish till 9 o'clock and I'm done. And you have to kind of run your spots and be super open. It's not a forward facing thing. It's nothing like that. It's visual. Like, you need to be looking around because you will literally see these fish in places that they never show up. And the only way you see them is if they're going. So we're gonna run a bunch of spots and see if we can't run into some schooling fish and try this out. We're gonna talk about this bait at the end if we can actually catch them on it. But one of the cool things is it comes in a bunch of like clear style colors. And one of my biggest like harp things that I do with spook is I think that there's too many spooks that are made in solid colors. I think most of the reaction that you get with a topwater bait, and you can tell me if you think I'm wrong, is because of the water displacement and the sploosh, the way it's like the action actually works and the way it creates that surface disturbance versus what it actually looks like. But I got 3 little packages of these jokers, dude. So we're gonna go and put the Dead Man Walking on top and see what this thing can do.
Bro, they're schooling everywhere. Holy Jesus. Oh my God. And they're coming this way. Holy crap, they're all freaking blowing up, dude. Holy Jesus. Oh God. They're not that big, but they are blowing up everywhere. Oh. Got him that time. Oh, that was cool. Oh, golly, what a bite, dude. What a freaking bite. I mean, when they're eating like the head and the first 2 hooks of that bait, you know you got the right bait on and you're doing the right thing because they are in freaking anger mode. Oh, come on, guys. There's like 20 of you over here. Oh, you come back and got it. I got it. And sometimes, like, it's a lot like a frog, but sometimes when they pop up like that, you just stop it because they'll come back. It's almost like they shock it, and then they're like, yeah, that thing's super easy to eat now. And then they come back and get it. It's got me all tangled up. Chill, buddy, chill. Come. Oh, here they come. Here they come. That felt like a little bit better one. See how I paused it too? Sometimes you gotta get your stop and go retrieve a little dialed in. Sometimes they want it burning, moving it super duper fast. Sometimes they want that like click, 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 you know, walk back and forth, and then a nice pause. Oh, he just got it sideways. Decent one, but still a little guy. He's gonna freak out because he freaking smoked it. Got him. Stay on there. See, you just call them up. They come up and they suck that thing up. That little blub blub sploosh for the walking kind of reaction. That's exactly what you're going. Oh God, they're blowing up over there. They're all in that corner. There they go. Look at them all. Holy shit, guys. Here they all come. God, look at them all. That's all bass, dude. Every single one of those dots. They're not super big, but there is a bunch of them just swimming around and chasing bait and blowing up right next to the boat. Oh, got him, jumping out of the water. That's a better one. God, this is freaking insane, dude. They're crushing this thing. We've probably caught like 30 fish, dude. I gotta get back out there ASAP too. Absolute, utter chaos and insanity. Oh, here they come. Got them. See, you don't need to set the hook when you're throwing a top water. All you gotta do is have a soft enough rod where they can suck it up and I don't want to come off, but where they can suck it up and the rod just absolutely loads up. Like, cause I'm fishing it on, this is like 30-pound braid to a 12-pound little fluorocarbon leader. I like the fluorocarbon leader because it kind of keeps the nose of the bait down a little. And I don't like all that stretch when you use a mono leader. I think you miss and you lose fish. As long as you're delicate with them enough with the braid to fluorocarbon, freaking, and he come back and got it. Yeah, that wasn't a great example, but you know what I'm saying, right?
That was pretty ridiculous, dude. It happens this time of year, like the late summer schooling bite. Between punching mats and those schooling fish, you can have an absolute blast. And I'm not going to say like you're going to catch absolute giants when you're doing this schooling thing, but what ends up happening is the water almost gets so hot that a lot of that bait rises, and especially in the low light periods like morning, evening, and that, a lot of that small bait is kind of scooting around in balls. And it balls up and it gets everything going, whether it's the white bass, skipjack, the largemouth, the spots, and they all start chasing that bait around, and it can get just downright ridiculous, dude. And it's so visual. Like, if you get out there in the morning and you're just kind of scanning around like the line all the way around the lake, if you see like a bunch of stuff blowing up, if you see any kind of like white kind of flashes in that, that's what you're looking for. Literally, I found those fish this morning just kind of panning around looking, actually fishing another spot, and I just looked off into the distance and there they were blowing up. And that's how it happens, because they'll just group that bait up, it'll congregate, and then all of a sudden all the bass just show up, because there was literally like no structure there. I don't know how to put it to you. It was just a giant grass flat. There was nothing different about it, but the bait grouped up. And as we move kind of late summer into fall, it becomes a lot more about where that bait is versus what they're on structurally a lot of times with the way these fish chase. But I wanted to run through this thing real quick. This is the new Dead Man Walking. It's basically a spook style bait from Bass Mafia. Standard spook. It's nothing like super duper fancy. One thing that I do like about it that's kind of cool is the colors. So I think there's like 6 or 8 colors, and I used quite a few of them during the video. But the one thing that I've really started liking with spooks and topwater baits are when they are like semi-transparent. I really like these clearer style baits, because for me personally, especially if you're fishing a semi-clear body of water, with the exception of Lake Lanier, where you're going to want to chrome one like this, like a clear bait that's displacing water and creating that sploosh, that kind of like kick in the water, is almost better than one that they can really see really well, because I want them to hit the sort of the action and the water displacement. I want them to be drawn to that, and I don't want any kind of trigger that's going to tell them, hey, this is a bad situation, I don't want to eat that. Granted, there's 3 giant hooks hanging off of this thing, but at the same time, it's a transparent bait, so they just kind of slash at where that water displacement is, versus like like I don't know, like a bone bait that's up there that could make them sort of a little iffy about closing the deal, right? The other nice thing is it does come with decent hooks. So these are all BKK. They're almost like the triple grip style hooks. And what's nice too, I find I have to replace a lot of topwater hooks, and a lot of times I only carry like basic trebles with me, like number 1s, number 2s, so it's hard to get the right hook for the right bait. These hooks are like the perfect size. They're a little bit smaller, so you get easy hookups. It's not overweighting the bait. You'll notice too, since this one's transparent, you can see the BBs in it. They're set towards the back of the bait. So what that actually does is, let me grab these hooks. You get kind of like a deep base. There's one big, one medium, and then some small ones. So you're getting a little different like sound with this guy. You're also getting that castability. There's one rattle in the head, but the majority of BBs are placed towards the back of it. That means this thing's gonna cast really well and sail out there. Every once in a while, you're gonna get the old spinner. It just happens, The other thing that I do with these topwaters, and I mentioned it, is just like with my crankbaits, I put that clip on it. There's already a split ring on this bait. This really functions for two things. One, it gives this a really super wide gate on when you're walking the bait, and then also it just makes it really easy to change. We fished the monster bass like little pop bar today a little bit too, but the mainstay was the walking bait, but it made it super easy to go and swap out colors, to swap out styles, poppers versus a walk the dog bait. It's just a super functional deal. The other thing that I noticed with this thing is lengthwise, I think it's a hair longer than like my Vixen, and that just by a little bit. The Vixen has a little tighter kind of walk to it. This one, especially we had water temperatures, I think it was like 89 today. Like it was up there, right? And this time of year, I really want that bait to dart wide. Like I want it to have a super wide gate, like a glide bait. And this guy walks super wide. So you're always going to evaluate your top waters. Do they walk super tight? Do they walk fast? That's the other thing that was kind of nice with this thing, is I could walk it pretty quick. I'd go like quick, stop, quick, stop, and like let them come up to it. I like when they have that wide kind of fast walk to them. A lot of times they'll wash out. A spook's a really good example that does it well, but it has sort of its own sort of unique like gait to it. This one's got a little tighter gait, but it still has that wide kind of wobble. You topwater guys know what I'm talking about. The other thing that I do is I really under sort of size the rod that I throw this thing on. So this is a medium action Halo Rave, 7 foot, but it's medium. It's got a really soft, almost on the brink of like a topwater style kind of like tip to it. And I'm running, got even a little grass on there. I'm running 30-pound braid, and then I run a leader. And this is kind of the unique thing that I know I'm gonna get some crap on the video for. I run a fluorocarbon leader, and I know that's like sacrilegious, but there's a reason that I do that. It's a very short leader. It's probably like 16 inches long or so, because I don't want to get it into my rod guides, but the braid allows me to cast it super far, right? Because 30 pound is like 6 pound diameter, like regular line. So I can bomb that thing out. I get really good connection with walking the bait. It's very reactive, you know, it twitches hard back and forth. I can really control the action of the bait. And then with hook sets, I don't need to do much. Like literally that medium action rod just loads up and I already set the hook. Because a lot of times with this topwater, and it happened to me even with the braid and with the soft rod today, is these fish will pull off. But you just want to be able to kind of sweep back on the hook set, because a lot of times these fish will miss the bait, and you don't, like, it's all this commotion going on, you don't know if they have it. So you almost have to have the rod and the line set up to let you know that they have it, versus trying to like pull like a worm. Like you kind of pull and feel that they're there. You want your whole setup to sort of react to their taking the bait. So when one actually pulls it down, if I feel that tension, all I got to do is a soft sweep back, and that fish is hooked, dude. Like it's set up, ready to go. But the reason I run this fluorocarbon leader when it's sacrilegious, like a lot of guys will swear by mono and that on this type of topwater setup. The reason I run that fluorocarbon is I find that, you know, when you cast it out and you do that first little walk, and the bait just kind of like rolls and it does this like stupid little kind of like whatever. And a lot of that's because if you're running mono, if you're running straight braid, it floats. So it keeps the nose of the bait like up in the water. So if I'm running this fluorocarbon, what I find is it puts a little bit, since fluorocarbon sinks, it puts a little bit of tension down on the nose of the bait, especially as you get into your retrieve a little bit deeper. And I find that for most baits, not all, but for most baits, it actually causes them to grab the water a little bit better and with a little more ease when you're working it. It also allows for a little bit of a, I don't know, like a shock absorber, I guess, like a strut. So when you get that strike, obviously it's vicious, dude. They come out of the water. You saw those ones. They were jumping out of the water and body slamming it. If you're running straight braid, that's a lot of tension real quick. It's a high impact deal. That little leader, it just allows, especially with the softer rod, it allows for a little kind of shock absorption on that initial, especially if they're blasting it on that initial strike, to sort of absorb a little bit of that hit. So you're getting that little bit better action, that little bit better, especially with walking baits action, getting that nose down, and then you're getting that absorption aspect. So that's the setup that I run. I've been super successful with it. If I'm around like really thick cover, if I'm in
say like water that's super dingy. You know, the water was pretty clear where we were fishing today, I'll go to straight braid just because I need to drag them out. You know, there's cover around. I don't think that they can visually see that braid nearly as well, but I really try to use that leader when I'm dealing with up to like say 3 foot and more visibility, because I think it gives me that absorption, it gives me better bites, and it also allows that bait to work a little bit better. But I had an absolutely epic day, dude. They schooled everywhere. If we would have caught all the fish that blew up on our bait, we would have probably caught 100 fish, but we probably caught like 45 fish in a matter of 2 hours, which was absolutely insane, all on top, blasting it. It was freaking cool. But I don't know if this thing is out yet. It is the Dead Man Walking from Bass Mafia. It's definitely, if you're into topwater and like spook style baits, it's just another addition to the arsenal. It behaves a little bit different, it has some different aspects to it, and the colors are absolutely sick. Hit that like and subscribe button for me. We'll see you back out on the water. We are heading to Florida shortly, so you'll see us down there doing some of that, hopefully catching some absolute giants. Later, boys.